This week, we're going to be talking about what is cloud computing. My name is Julie. I'll be your webinar facilitator today. I do have my email address down here, so if you have questions going forward, feel free to reach out and contact me. So when I talk about cloud computing, a lot of people will get this deer in the headlight look, like what on earth is cloud computing? What are you talking about? And I have kind of a formal definition on the slide in front of you, but when you think about cloud computing, we've really been cloud computing for years. Think about how long you've had an email address, an email account. You know, I go all the way back to my email account that I had with Cox Communications, one of my very first emails when I moved to Omaha. And initially, when I was using their account, all of my emails were stored on my PC, meaning that if I were to log into another PC, regardless of where I was, I could be sitting right next to the PC, or I could be 500 miles away. I wouldn't be able to open any of the old emails because they resided on my computer. And after I've had Cox for a couple of years, they then offered the service for all of your email to be stored on a server. And of course, I took advantage of that, meaning that you could access your email anytime, anywhere, as long as you had internet access. And it works the same way with cloud computing. So in essence, we've been cloud computing for years. It just wasn't called cloud computing. You know, in the old days when I used to back things up, important things, maybe like your resume, your cover letter, any document that you wouldn't want to lose if something happened to your PC, I would email it to myself. So I always had a copy of that. So like I say, when I say cloud computing is a quote unquote new term, we've been cloud computing for about 10 years now, to my knowledge. But we've really been cloud computing for many more years than that when you think about it in terms of just, you know, file storage and storing items. But when you look at cloud computing, and today we're going to be looking specifically at the Google Drive and Microsoft Outlook and what they have to offer us. Being allowed to store files, to create files, to upload files, download files, synchronize across your devices, collaborate with people. You know, right now, a lot of us are working from home, and I've been working from home prior to COVID-19. But I work with people from all over the world. So we use the Google Drive. That's just the company's choice. But I have a lot of different presentations on there, different documents that we refer to. Things like that. But when you're thinking about collaborating, that's the really cool part of it. And I'm going to talk more about that here in just a little bit. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to do a lot more than this, but this is just a general outline. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Gmail account. We're going to look at the Google Drive and all of its options. You've got Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. And if you're familiar with the Microsoft Office suite, Google Docs is much like Microsoft Word, Google Sheets is Excel, and Google Slides is PowerPoint. We can collaborate in real time, like I was saying. You can upload files, download files, and so on. The Microsoft OneDrive is fairly similar. You can create your own files. You are working with Office 365, so it is the same thing as the Microsoft Office suite that you might be running the applications off of your PC. The Microsoft OneDrive gives you a lot more bells and whistles than the Google Drive does, but they're compatible. And the nice thing about the Google Drive is, you know, I talked about Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Google Slides. It has more applications than that. There's no charge for the Google Drive. So if you're looking for an application to use where you don't have to spend any money, that might be a good option for you. I know a lot of companies have adopted the Google Drive. A lot of schools no longer pay for Microsoft Office. They use the Google Drive for students to create different files and to hand in their homework, and it's all done electronically. So we'll look at that. Okay. Let me go ahead and minimize this, and I'm going to go over to my Gmail account. Now, don't get the idea that my Gmail account is always this clean. I moved all of my emails into a tab called January 29th. So I typically have a bunch of junk mail in here, but I cleaned it up just for you today. All right, so when I go into my Gmail account, if I want to access the Google Drive, I'm going to come up here to the upper right-hand corner, and you've got these 9 dots. And one of the things you want to look for when you're looking for different apps, regardless of what you're using, look for either these 9 little dots or 3 little dots. And when you click down on them, you're going to get lots of different options. So these are the options within the Microsoft Drive. You can search, you can go to Maps, you can utilize Meet, you can look at your calendar, which we're going to because I think that's a very nice feature of that Google puts out. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to click on Google Drive. Now, when I do that, you're going to see several different documents that I have uploaded or created. And to be honest with you, most of them are from webinars or classes that I've taught on cloud computing. So just to take a little tour, over here on the left-hand side, you have new, and if I click down on that, it gives me the option to do a file upload, a folder upload. So in other words, you're bringing information up to your drive for storage purposes. You can create a new Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Slides. There is a Google form. So if you have received a form in your email, perhaps it was from the Google form. And then there's many more options in here. You can create your own Google site if you want to. And some of these other options. But let's go back and look at the basics. So that's creating new. Then you have My Drive. You have different computers. So I have my laptop being backed up to my Google Drive. That's a very nice feature. Any items that are shared with me. So all of these items were shared with me by someone else. If you want to look at your most recent, it will tell me what I have opened and in the order that I've opened them. If I have anything starred, which I don't, we'll go ahead and star something today. And of course, you have your trash. Now down below, it says that I have used 8.3 gigabytes of my 15 gigabytes that are available. With each Gmail account, you get a free 15 gigabytes of server space. Okay, now if you have more than one Gmail account, you will get another 15 gigabytes. And I think you can have up to 6 Gmail accounts. So that's a lot of storage if you want to back things up. The one thing is that your drives do not synchronize. So if you put a document in one drive in the Google Drive and you want it in a Google Drive from another Gmail account, you physically have to upload that again. You can't synchronize them. And of course, if you want to buy more, you always have that option. I'm not sure how much it costs. Let's just go ahead and take a look. So you've got your 15 gigabytes for free, and that's really nice for cloud storage. Most cloud computing options only give you 5. So Google's giving you about 3 times more than most of the other cloud computing features out there. And then for $1.99 a month, you can get 100 gigabytes. So it's really not that bad. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money for you to purchase more storage space. We'll go ahead and close that up and I'll come back. So that's what's on the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and go up to new. And I'm just going to go to Google Docs and click on that. And we're going to take a look at the Google Docs just for a second. So it is kind of a lower end version of Microsoft Word. And I can go ahead type in something, whatever the case may be. You do have, a lot of these different options. So you just want to go through and play around with the different options that you have. So I've established a document. It's not titled yet. So I'm just going to come up here and click in title. Now what it does is it picks up your first line. So I can name that "The Cow Jumped Over the Moon" if I want to, or I can change it. January 29th. Okay. Now, as I enter information, as I enter information, it's automatically saving. So it's automatically saving everything that I've done. So I've entered 2 lines, and as I'm typing, regardless of what I'm typing, the Google Doc is saving for me. So I don't need to worry about that, because anytime I type something in or I delete something, it automatically updates my file. So I don't need to worry about going up and saving that. Now, I've got my document here. I'm going to go up to the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to click on Share. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know whether she's available right now. I doubt it. I'm going to go ahead and share this with a friend of mine. And you can share it with 1 person. You can share it with 50 people. You can share it with as many people as you would like to. With each person that you put in there, you might want to give them different privileges. So if I go in, if I enter Patricia Smith in, then I can come over here and I can say, okay, can she edit the document? Can she just view the document, or can she only comment on the document? So those are your 3 options. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as editor in case she can join us. And then I'm going to go down here in the message, and this is just going to be an email. Okay, so I've got my email. When I click on send, what it's going to do is it's going to send an email to Patricia Smith with a link to this document. Okay, and the message will be just what I wrote in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on send, and it sent Pat an email. Now, if she were able to join us, what we would see is her picture or her initials up here in the upper right-hand corner, where I'm kind of waving my mouse around. You would see who's in the document and who is not. So let's say that I have several pages worth of information here, and I'd like to go back and I want to look at the file version or the history version. Now, I own this document. I'm the administrator of this document. So I can go into version history and I can see version history. So if you're working on something, maybe there's a group of people working on something, whoever created the document, whoever owns the document, they can go in and they can see who has participated in putting the document together and who has not. How much effort they put into it if you need be. Now, I will let you in on a little secret that I did. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago in a Google spreadsheet, which we'll go and look at that here in just a minute. I accidentally deleted a couple of tabs that approximately 150 people depended on, that we all used it. And I was not the owner of it, so I was surprised that it let me delete it, but it did. So I was happy to get a hold of the owner of the document so that she could put it back the way that it was supposed to be. And to do that, if I click on January 11th at 1:11, you'll see that now I have a blank document, because that's when we just created the document. or I can click on January 29th at 1:33. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the original document. And I'm just going to type something else in here. And then when I go back to file and to file version and see the history, and it's clumping all of that together. So, and that's fine, but you can see that it's added that to the history. All right, so I've got my document. Let's say that we're ready to download this to our PC. We've had everybody in there, the document's ready to go, but I want to download it as to my PC. So I can go to File and to Download, and I can tell it that I want it to download to Microsoft Word. So when I click on Download to Microsoft Word, where are you? There it is. If you look in the lower left-hand corner of my screen, you can see that a Word document just downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And went over to my other monitor. Here we go. And here is the information that we put in the Google Doc. We just downloaded it as a Microsoft Word file. Now, obviously, if I go in here and make some changes, the changes to the document on my PC will not update in the cloud. So that's one thing you want to be cognizant of. Note that it did not update in the cloud, nor if I add something here, will it update to my downloaded version. Okay, so there's my cloud. Here is my Word document. And note that it did not make the change on my Word file. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to close that up. I don't need that. We won't save it. And so you can see that you can download. I downloaded to a Microsoft Word document. You can download to any one of these formats that you want to. I can email this file if I would like. So I'm just going to tell it to send a copy to myself. And let's see. Guess I've never emailed myself on here. So you can very easily email as well. Well, again, I need somebody to type for me. And why aren't we sending? Interesting. Okay, let me go ahead and cancel that. Let's see what's going on. File, email this file. There we go. It wasn't, I didn't have a valid email address in there. So I can go ahead and click on send and it will email me this file. So let's go back over to my other tab and there is a link. It also gives me a PDF copy so I can download that to my PC, or I can click on this and it will take me, and it will take me back over to our document. Okay, so those are some nice features. Let's go ahead and we'll just close that up. Again, it's going to save it for us. If I go to my drive, we might have to refresh here. And there's our document right there. So it's not gone, it's saved to our cloud computing drive. So let's go back up to new. And let's just go in and look at Google Sheets for a second. So in Google Sheets, you remember it looks much like Microsoft Excel. So in here, I can go ahead and put a couple of labels in. It works very similar. So we'll just put, oops, put some numbers in, or some values in, I should say. We can go ahead and select those two. We can apply the currency format to them. And then down in B4, if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, then I can just put an equal sign, and we're going to tell it that we want to add B2 plus B3. And if you want to use the sum, all of the formulas and the functions, they all act the same in the Google Sheets as they do in Microsoft Excel. And again, we can come up and we can share this with someone. Before you go to share, though, it always wants you to name the title. So let me go ahead and just pop out of there for a second. And so okay. So it's always good to name them first, and then I can go ahead and click on share. Same idea. You could go ahead and share it with as many people as you want to. I'll put more than one person in here. Let's see. I can share it with myself. Does not like that email address, does it? That's all right. I don't need to share it with myself. And then again, maybe I just want these two people to be able to view the document. I can come down here and check my spelling, and we'll go ahead and click on send. And what it's saying is one person, the person that has the Cox account, does not have a Gmail account. So is that okay? And I'm just going to say share anyway. So that is the Google Sheets. And again, on the Google Sheets, if I go to File and Download, it will download as a Microsoft Excel file. So I can go ahead and click on that. My PC is running really slow today. I'm not sure what's going on. It downloaded to the lower right-hand corner, and here we are in Excel. And you can see that the formulas will all remain the same, and you can use that document. Oops. Okay, so let's go back to OneDrive for a second. We could go back to new. This time I'm going to go to, let's do a file upload this time. Let's go ahead and say that I want to upload a file to my drive. So I'm going to go out here to my desktop and to, let's see, ignore my file management. Where are you? Where's the do space? Oh, right there, do space presentations. Okay, and we'll just go to the cloud computing, and let's go ahead and upload our PowerPoint that we're using for today's webinar. So I'll go ahead and double click on that. You can see in the lower right-hand corner, it's saying that it's bringing in this particular document. I can go ahead and click on it. It will open it in a new tab. And I have now uploaded to my Google Drive what is known as the Google Slides. So I have my Google Slides up here and it is now in my Google Drive. We can go ahead and refresh that and you'll be able to see that document as well. Now you probably noticed underneath new that we can also do a folder upload. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a folder upload. I'm going to go out and I'm just going to back up to, we'll go back one more step. Let's go ahead and take all of the DoSpace presentations. Now you note that there's quite a few of them in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, back them up to my OneDrive. So I'm going to select this folder. I have that selected. You can see I've got the blue square around it. I can click on upload and yes, I trust it. Now this might take a while. So we'll go ahead and let that upload, and we're going to take a look at a few other options that you have. So while I'm back in my email, if I come back up here to the 9 dots, or what a lot of people call the waffle, remember I went to the 9 dots and I went to the Google Drive. So now I actually have that open twice, but I wanted to show you how to access that again. Another really nice feature of the Google Apps is the Google Calendar. And the reason that I'm saying this is it's acts just like any other calendar. But let's say that maybe I want to create a meeting at, we'll go ahead and, it says 2:30, that's fine. We'll go ahead and click on more options. You know how people are doing family Zooms right now. You could also use the Google Drive, and in your calendar, we'll just put family Zoom and the time that it starts and so on. And you can add your guests in here, however many guests you want to. We'll just load Pat's inbox with that information. And what I was going to say, what I wanted to point out was you can create a video. Whoops, come here. Sorry about that. You can tell it that you want a video conference option. So if I click on join with Google Meet, it will turn on that option. In my opinion, yes, Lori. The question is does backing up on the cloud take the place of backing up on an external drive? Yes, I do not back up on an external drive or flash drives, any of that. I back all of my data up onto a Google Drive, whether that's OneDrive or the Google Drive. Those are the two that I use, but there's several other options out there. Going back to this, you can join with Google Meet, and that's all free. Like I said at the beginning of the webinar, all of this is free. So all of these applications that you're looking at, you can utilize for free. So I can turn on join with Google Meet. I can come down here and add the description. That's going to send an email to all of these people. Note that I can have up to 100 participants. And when you go into the Google Meet, every participant, let me go ahead and click on this and I'll show you what it is. Every participant will have the ability to turn on their microphone or turn on their camera. So a lot, some meetings that I have, everybody has their camera on. Some meetings, nobody has their camera on. Sometimes it's 50-50. So, but that is a free option for you to utilize as well. So that's just going to the Google Calendar. I won't go ahead and send that right now. That's just going to the 9 dots. Just come here. To the 9 dots and to our calendar. Creating a meeting just by clicking on the calendar, and then more options. And again, you can add Google Meet with video conferencing. And when you save that, or when you send out the invites, it will send them a link, very similar to the link that you received for our webinar today. You just click on that and it will take you into your meeting. So that's another really nice free option that the Google Drive has for you. Okay, so we're not quite there. We're still at 125 out of 128. It's getting there. Let me see what else we've got here. So the main ones that I wanted to talk about was Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. And Google Slides, let's go ahead and take a look at that a little bit more in depth. I've used the Google Slides in a couple of different ways. So you might be sitting there going, yeah, but how would I use this? So you can use it for professional purposes. Like I said, I work with people from all over the globe. And for instance, I'm doing a presentation in April, actually one in February and one in April with a group of people from all over the United States. So what we did was we just started a Google slide, and then we'll go ahead and share it out with everybody that is going to participate in the presentation. And that way, each one of the participants can put in their own slides. So each participant would have the ability to insert, new slides and use whatever background they want to. Each person would be in charge of their own, or you can collaborate on a slide as well. Now, a way that I've used this on a personal level is to create a music video for a birthday party for a friend of mine. And rather than people emailing me pictures for the music video. So I see your question, is Google Meet the same thing as Zoom? No, it is not the same. Which one is better? It's really a personal preference. I have used both to present with. I don't think that I have a preference. To be honest with you, they both work very well. Do all participants have to have a Gmail account to Google Meet? No, they do not. It used to be that way, Lori, but now they do not have to have a Gmail account in order for them to join the meeting. Good questions. So what I did was I created a Google slide, and I shared it out with all of the people that were going to be at the surprise party. And this kind of put a lot of the burden on them, because what they needed to do was they needed to come in and upload folder or pictures to one per slide, so that I could download them to PowerPoint and create my music video. So they could very easily just insert pictures from here. So just to show you how to do that, if I go to insert an image, it says, okay, where is the image? Is it on your PC? Are you going to search the web for it? Is it already on your drive? We'll just go ahead and upload something from my PC. And let's see, access pics, that should do. So here's a condo. So we can upload that picture. And you can manipulate it however you want to, but that took a lot of the burden off of me for putting all of the pictures on each one of the slides. And that way everybody kind of participated in the music video. All right, so that is, we've got Google Slides. And I think those, let me see, go to new. So we uploaded a file, we uploaded an entire folder, which it's still working on that. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. Again, you can download them, you can upload them, whatever the case may be. So that's a little bit about the Google Drive. Let's go ahead and, I don't want to leave that because that's uploading. Let's go ahead and pop over here to my Outlook account, which happens to be associated with Metropolitan Community College. I do some part-time events for them as well, some teaching for them. And again, you're looking for those 9 dots. Now remember, when we were in the Gmail, they were over here on the right-hand side. In the Outlook account, they're over here on the left-hand side. So if I click on those, it will launch any one of these applications. And Outlook is actually an application of the Microsoft Office suite. So I can go directly into any one of these that I want to. If I want to start a Word document, I can go ahead and click on that, and it will say, okay, what would you like to do? I'm just going to go ahead and double click or click on a new Word document, and we'll let that load for a second. And here we are. And you can see that it has many of the features that are the features that Microsoft Word does. All of your different ribbons are up here at the top. Again, you can share the document so that people can collaborate with you, just like we did in the Google Drive. You can go in and comment on something if you want to, but that's as simple as that, going to your applications and telling it which one you want to launch. So I can go back to my Outlook account if I want to, or if I want to look at all of the files that I have in my OneDrive, I can go directly to the OneDrive. Now, what I wanted to focus on the OneDrive is not so much showing you how to create the files and download them and upload them, because it works very similar to the Google Drive. If we have time, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But what I wanted to show you is a little bit about the file management. So when I'm within my OneDrive, you'll note that if I am hovering my mouse over here just to the left of each one of these, I have multiple folders, and then I have a bunch of different documents that I have the ability to come in here and maybe just click inside of there. When I click inside of there to select this document, note that my top options change. So if I deselect that, those options go away. If I select it again, here they came back. So if I want to, maybe I want to delete this. I don't need it anymore. I can go ahead and click on delete. Is it okay to delete this? Yes, it is. So I can delete one item at a time, or if I want to delete multiple items, I can just come over here and click to select maybe 3 items, and we'll go ahead and delete those 3 items and delete. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to organize this information a little bit more. So I have a folder up here that's called Excel Docs. What I want to do is I'm going to put the remainder of the Excel documents in this list in that folder. So I can go ahead and I can drag and drop them up there to Excel Docs. And it moved it in. If I go into Excel Docs, you can see that it is in there. I can just go ahead and click on the back arrow to go back. If I want to move several of them at once, I can select all of my Excel documents. I can click on Move To, and I want to go to My Drive, and I'm just going to go to Excel Docs and tell them to move here. So now they are all reside in the Excel Docs. I'm going to go ahead and go back for a second. Now I've got some Word documents here. I've got some PowerPoint documents here. So I'm just going to come down to New. We're going to create a new folder. And I'll call this one Word Docs. And we'll go ahead and click on Create. And we'll go ahead and go back up to New. And we're going to create another new folder, and we'll call this our PowerPoint Docs, and click on Create. So now I have 2 new folders, and what I'm going to do, remember, I can move them up one at a time if I want to, but that takes a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and select each one of these. And you can see that what I did was I selected all 5. The last time I clicked on Move To and went through the motions that way. So I clicked on Move To, and I'm going to go to My Drive, and then I want to select the folder that I want to move them to. However, you can also do that with the mouse. I've got all 5 of these selected. And if I click and hold down on my mouse on any one of these items, note that when I start moving, it says that it's moving 5 files. So I can go ahead and let up on my mouse, and we cleaned up all of the Word docs. So now they all reside inside of that folder. Just makes it a little bit easier to look at. We'll go ahead and we'll select all 3. of these documents. And again, I can go to, let me go ahead and deselect one of them. I can go to move to your drive and my PowerPoint docs and move here. Now on the other side, if I want to, I can select any one of the documents and I can tell it that I want to copy to. So I see your question, Lori. Good question. Yes, absolutely. You know, the thing is, let me show you an example of how I want to answer that here in just a second. So I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to make a copy to my destination, my OneDrive. I'm going to put this in the PowerPoint documents, tell it to copy here. So what I've done is I left the copy, the glass ceiling February 20, out here. But if I go into my PowerPoint documents, it's also inside of my PowerPoint documents. So if you want to make multiple copies, you also have the ability to do so. So let me jump back over here to answer Lori's question. Let me jump back over here to my Google Drive and where I uploaded all of my presentations for the DoSpace. So I have all of those on here. The only way that that's going to free up space on my PC is if, and I'll go ahead and minimize this, again, disregard all the, I know, I talk about file management and look at all the stuff I've got in there. The only way I'm going to save myself some space is if I go to my drive, to my PC, and I delete this folder. If I were to delete this folder, it says that the size is 807 megabytes. I do have them uploaded to the cloud computing, so it wouldn't hurt anything to delete them, and you would be saving space on your PC. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let me go back to the OneDrive. So if we come back up here to, we can either go to new, and we can open up any one of these. Maybe we want a PowerPoint or an Excel document. We just simply click on it and it will open that document for us. Again, let me go ahead and put an example in here. Okay, so I have that, and I'm going to go ahead and create an equal sum. So equal sum, open my parentheses. I want Excel to add together C2 through C5. Go ahead and close my parentheses. Oh, let's try through C4. There we go. That looks a lot better. We'll go ahead and put currency in there. Give it some more space. So now if I want to, I can go to File and to Save As, and I can download a copy just like I did from the Google Drive. I can do that from my OneDrive as well. So when I downloaded the copy, again, it went to the lower left-hand corner of my screen. I can go ahead and click on that. And here it's the same document that downloaded to my PC. So you can see that with any cloud computing, regardless of what you decide to utilize, it all kind of works the same. You have all of your different options. You can collaborate, you can upload, you can download. Let's go ahead and upload. Let's go ahead and upload a folder. Let's see how long it takes to upload this to the DoSpace. We'll go ahead and upload this. Yes, I want to do that. So it's still working on it, but there are all of my documents that seem to upload a lot faster than, okay, everything hasn't uploaded yet. So that was just, looked like it was uploading faster, but you were going to give it some time to get there. So again, you can upload, you can download, you can collaborate, you can share items. There it says right up here, uploading 129 items, so it's still working on that. Let me go ahead and go back to the OneDrive, see if there's anything else here that I wanted to share with you. I can't think of anything. Any other questions? Good questions, folks. Great questions. Any other questions? Something that maybe I did not cover for either OneDrive or the Google Drive. Something that you want me to show you again, perhaps. No questions? Let me go ahead and share my email address with you again, in case you think of something going down the road. So here is, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and I'll just put it in the chat. There we go. There's a question. When you are collaborating with others and emailing documents around to different people, so how do you keep it straight that you're sharing a document with them? I guess I've never really thought about that before. I guess mentally, I just know who I've sent the documents to. Let me keep thinking about that, Lori. I would like to organize my files like you do in OneDrive. However, can I do it in? So no, Microsoft Word is an application. You're going to have to use your file management system in order to organize your documents this way. Does that answer your question about the OneDrive and Microsoft Word? Okay, so if you're in Microsoft Word is an application. So if I go into Microsoft Word, let me go ahead and open up a Word document within OneDrive. I am creating a flyer, a memo, a paper. I'm writing a paper, whatever the case may be. So if I do like that saying, the cow jumped over the moon, I guess. So if I go ahead and type that in, also, you can also note that in OneDrive, while I'm typing, let me go ahead and just copy this and paste it. When I paste this, the saved is going to turn into saving real fast. So it tells you that it's saving. So I have my document here. I went ahead and I'm going to save that. So I'll rename that. Okay, so I have my document. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to come back to my applications. I'm going to go to my OneDrive, and here is cow. Now there's no way that within Microsoft Word I can create a file management system, because from the PC or from your OneDrive, you have to have the applications to create a new folder. And you can't do that from within Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is an application. So you would need to do your file management from either the root of your PC or from the file management within OneDrive or Google Drive. So when you send an email through the drive when sharing a document, will it show up in the email to be able to refer back to it? Yes. Remember when I shared something with myself? It's right here. So I can refer back to this document. And it's not letting me open it from here because I own the document. So Lori, I'm thinking of when you are sharing with others at work. Done the video and saving it. And there are several versions coming back to you. It's collaborating class. So there's not going to be several versions coming back to me because it's a live document. So to go back to your question, Lori, if I come back in here and go to Google Sheets and open up a Google Sheets and share this with people, this is going to be one live working document. It's not going to be multiple documents. It's only one file. And again, one person can be in here working, or you can have 50 people in there working. Other questions? Good questions. You're making me think on a Friday afternoon. Any other questions? How do I add my... So you mean to your taskbar, like if you look at the bottom here, you can see that I have Google Chrome open, Word open, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on. Is that where you want to add it to? You can't. No, that's the beautiful part of it, Lori. If your computer crashes, everything is backed up to the cloud. Everything's backed up to the cloud. I don't know if you have an Apple device, if you have an iPhone and everything's backed up to the iCloud, if your phone crashes, which has happened to me, all of your pictures, all of your videos, all of your contacts, everything that you have on your phone, all of your apps, everything is backed up. So everything that I have backed up to the cloud will not be lost, and I can access it anywhere, anytime that I want to. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know that. The question was, if your computer crashes, do you lose what is in the cloud? So with an Android, there are different options for backing up with an Android. I can't tell you any of those options off the top of my head, but I know that you can back them up to the cloud as well. So yes, something that you definitely want to do is have that backup. How secure is it to have everything in the cloud? Can anyone have access to it? And it's funny, this morning when I was getting ready for this, I thought about that. Somebody's going to ask me that question. I have been using cloud computing for years, and I have never, ever, ever had anybody hack into my system. Now, would I advise you to store your social security number and all of your passwords up there? Probably not. I just have different documents in there that I utilize that are backed up. I personally, I've never heard of anybody having their iCloud or cloud computing account hacked into. But that's just personally, and I'm a little lackadaisical when it comes to that. Other people are on the other end of the spectrum with it. but I'm not one to worry about that, nor has anything that I've read alarmed me about storing stuff to the cloud. Great questions, folks. So I'm just going to reread these questions. If your computer crashes, will you lose what's in the cloud? Absolutely not. You will not lose what's in the cloud. You can back up both, an iPhone and an Android. You can back up a Macintosh. You can back up a PC. It all acts the same. And then how secure is the cloud? I've never had anybody access my information that I have not shared that with. So that's my experience. Other questions? We've got a couple minutes left. So if you've got anything else, let me know. Nothing? I don't see anything coming up. All right. Well, thank you so much. Whoop, maybe we do. Oh, no, she's just clearing the questions. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Let me see what we've got on doc for next week. Just real quick, I'll share it with you. I think it is, whoops, that's not it. There we go. So next week for our Friday Lunch and Learn, we have Microsoft Access Basics. But make sure that you're checking out the DoSpace calendar. There's lots of great webinars on here, folks. I like to host them, and I also like to attend them. So take a look and see what you want to sign up for. Thank you so much. Again, if you do have questions, feel free to email me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another webinar soon. Take care, folks.